PREYÉ. Good to see you.
Hi, good to see you. How you doing, Insightful?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I have to say, like, just before all of the call, we just had a real hectic or before the podcast, it was a hectic setup, but you did well. I'm very proud of you.
Thank
Very
you.
proud.
Thank you. I am very happy that I was able to to do this. Well, woo.
We
Yes,
made
thank you
it.
for being patient with me.
Tell everybody where you calling from? Like where you at right now?
I am currently in Lagos, Nigeria. Yes, and the traffic this past few weeks has been insane.
Why is that?
But thank God, it's just there's just always traffic. Anywhere you go, even though it's like a 10-minute journey, you probably end up spending like 45 minutes on the road.
Sounds
And you
like
go to the you
LA.
go to like yeah, and you get to where you're going, you can't see any cause of traffic.
Wow.
And you're like, what has been holding us up? So yeah, it's been really crazy, but like productive as well. And I'm just like happy. I'm in like a really good space.
Yeah, yeah. What time is it over there right now?
It's 12:16 a.m.
Gosh, you're a trooper. Thank you for doing this.
Oh
We
no.
we
Of
we
course.
messed up a couple times slots before on my end. Like
No, it's
the original one
okay.
I wanted to send over was like 3 a.m. your time, and I was like, when you said, "Oh, this is 3 a.m.," I was like, "Oh, hell no." Um, Good to see
Yeah.
you. Good to see you. Always,
Good to
always
see
have
you
a warm
too.
spirit to you. Always positive. Like I really thoroughly enjoy your presence.
Thank you. Oh,
Tell
that is very sweet. Thank you.
thank I mean I mean it. I mean it all. Tell the people like what you do as well, cuz just for someone like kind of coming from the outside, like who how would
Hmm.
you, you know, speak about
Describe
yourself?
my
Mhm.
hmm. I am a very relentless, hardworking, won't take no for an answer artist currently in Lagos. I'm a singer songwriter, performing and recording artist, and I am also interested in things like tea. I make my own tea. I'm very much into fitness. I love cooking. I love making things with my hands. I am trying to like get into like um so I massage a lot, like I do like a lot of massages, and I'm trying to get like a certificate for that. I read engineering in school, and after that I did a postgrad in marketing because I wanted to know how to market myself as an artist. I was born in Lagos, Nigeria, but I moved around a lot because my dad moved around a lot as well. So after a while I went to Canada. That didn't really go well. I didn't really like Canada. I'm not a fan of the cold. I felt like my creativity was drying up. I felt like I was dying slowly. I felt like I was losing passion for making art, and that's when I was like, I need to get the fuck out. I'm sorry, can I swear?
Yeah, of course. No, no. This
Okay.
no. This is for this is a child's podcast, so we're gonna have to. I'm
Oh.
just kidding. um, wait. So wait, did you live in Canada?
I used to, but I moved back. I couldn't do it.
How long did you live there
I
for?
couldn't do it. Like 3 years.
3 years. You suffered through the cold for 3 years because it's not a normal type of
It's
cold.
not it's not fun. Like I'm the kind of person that I like to take walks and sing outside. I like to take walks, period. But like I like to take walks and sing outside. I like to like go to the park, sit down, chill.
Hmm.
But like in Canada, I couldn't the luxury of taking a walk to sing was not even there because of the cold, and it's like chokes you up and your eyes start watering. It's painful kind of cold,
Hmm.
and I actually almost died in the cold. I actually almost died in the
Go
cold
on.
because it was the first time that I was experiencing such a sensation as intense as that. So I didn't know what was happening to me. I just knew like I was feeling weird. started feeling kind of woozy, and then I realized I stopped feeling like my feet. And I'm like, oh shit, like I can't feel my feet. So I start jogging on the spot because I was waiting for my bus. But my bus didn't come. And eventually when it came, I realized I was standing at the wrong side of the road.
so, so it was died waiting for a bus. That would suck.
Yeah, and like that was when I had to call an Uber, but my phone was almost dead, and I was trying to save money as
Uh
well. So I
huh.
was just like, okay, let me just call this Uber. Uber was like 60 something dollars for like a 30-minute trip. And then like, I called Uber and he was just wasting so much time, and my phone, like the cold drained the battery of my phone from like 20 something percent. I was trying to save the battery. When I checked, it was like 3%. So I had to memorize the Uber plate. Okay, and I was jogging. At a point, I couldn't feel my fingers because I was trying to type, and then I had to put my like fingers, like my hands back into my like winter jacket, and I was jogging. And then I saw some guy speeding, some car just speeding from like afar, and then this guy just speeds up to me and is like, "Are you Priye? Are you Priye?" And I'm like, because I called him before I like put off my phone. And "Are you Priye?" And I'm like, "Yes, yes." And I entered the car, and I shit, I couldn't feel myself, my legs and my hands for about 15 minutes, and he was blasting heat from his car, and
Wow.
still, I was just like staying like this at the back seat, just like trying to warm up. And he kept on saying, "Move your feet, move your hands, move your feet, move your hands." And I'm like, this guy is literally my angel right now,
Right.
because I was getting to the point where I would have literally just slumped, like,
Whoa.
just like,
How long were you outside for to get to that point?
and that's the thing. I wasn't out for that long. Let's say like 13 minutes, 13, but it felt like 30 minutes.
Whoa.
It felt longer than that because I underestimated how cold it was. I'm like, okay, it's not that bad, but when you stay outside that long,
Mm-hmm.
and like that day, it wasn't as cold when I left, but like it just changed like midday. Like it was like wind plus the actual cold, and it was just like,
Yeah.
I was like,
North of the wall. It seemed like from Game of Thrones.
yo.
Yeah.
So
Gee.
when I told my dad that I'm moving back, he didn't believe me until he saw me. Like he was like, "You're actually here." I'm like, "Yeah,"
Wow.
and I'm coming to do music.
Wow. So Canada didn't work out for you. Long story
It
short.
didn't work. I didn't. If it's meant to be, then probably in the future. But
Mm-hmm.
right now,
Yeah.
I feel like I should be here right now.
Did you
Yeah.
feel like when you moved to Canada? Because I was thinking about it for a little bit before I moved to Texas. I was like, Canada was Toronto in particular was a place that I was
Mm.
looking at, and like I think I'm like you, where like the cold just like does something to me that is like uninspiring and like reminds me of death a
So
little bit.
depressing.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes. And you hear songs differently.
yeah,
It affects how you hear things.
yeah. How you
It's
look at the world too.
weird.
Like I
Yes.
noticed like when you mentioned the fitness thing, I was like, I cannot work out in the cold. Like if my body is cold, I will not push myself to
Oh,
like sweat. You
I
know, like
totally,
yeah,
yeah. It's like really hard. It's very depressing. It
yeah.
was very depressing. I couldn't write. I couldn't, I was depressed all the time. I
Oh.
was just not, you can't even go anywhere. You
Mhm.
can't even just take a break and go somewhere and just chill.
Mhm. Mhm.
It's like everywhere is closed. You have to dress literally looking like a penguin before you leave out because you're wrapping your neck, you're wrapping your ankles, you're making sure no skin is showing, you're wearing
Right.
this, you're putting this over your ears. It's like, dude, like, I can't live like this.
Yeah.
I need sun. I need water. I need the ocean.
Yeah.
I need warmth. I
Uh-huh.
need something tropical right now. And I was like, yep, I'm moving back.
Yep. Got on the plane, moved back, and what's the vibe? I've never been to Nigeria. Um, what's the difference? It sounds like there's a huge difference. I mean, obviously
Yes.
geographically.
You have to be here to experience it.
Mm,
it's not something that I can really explain, but everything just feels so like when I was in Canada, because of the cold, I became pale. And like the paleness also seeped into my emotions. Like everything about me was pale. But when I came back, I started like I looked more like the earth, like the color. I had like this like it's like a brush of tan. It's like welcome.
Mm.
Like, welcome.
Mm-hmm.
Like you just I feel more grounded.
Mm.
And like, there's just something in the air that is different. I don't know how to explain it. And the food is different. Just the energy is different. The people are different. Like the music, the culture, like it's always like just loud, but sometimes in an excruciating way. But sometimes the excruciatingness, if there's
Mm-hmm.
anything word like that,
Mm-hmm.
is sort of soothing,
Mm-hmm.
if that makes
Yep.
sense.
Yep. Like
It's
a
like,
hug, like a big hug. Yeah.
yes, yes. It's like, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I just love that, like, oh yeah, I really want you to come here. Like, I would really like love for you to visit Lagos, for you to visit Abuja as well.
Mm.
I think you would like both of the places. Abuja looks like a different version of Miami.
Mm. Mm.
Yeah,
Interesting. I
it's like
love it. I love.
it's
I
like a
already love it. I mean, I'm there. I'm there inside my mind right now.
and I do you like spicy food?
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
You gonna
Yeah.
love the
I
food
bet.
then.
I bet. I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it. I'm half Mexican, so I come
Oh,
from that. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yes,
Um, my
yes.
tolerance, I don't know, is more of my non-Mexican side, but I love a good spice when it's there. But
Yes,
I love
yes,
it. You're
yes.
coming from also the land of like a lot of artists that I feel like are seeping into the states and have been for the past few years. Like I remember,
Yes.
like specifically when it comes to Toronto, I think of like Drake having WizKid involved,
Yeah.
and so that region kind of has been very influential in
Mm-hmm.
the music in the U.S. and it's been cool to
Yeah.
watch it kind of expand the way it has. Because I
It
feel
has
like
expand.
yeah, I feel like that region has a similar uh like sonically, musically, it's kind of like how in my personal opinion, like how
Yeah.
football or soccer is like kind of globally
Mm.
recognized, you know, and like
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
something about it like you can kind of speak that language, you can dance to
You
to
can
that music
dance
to
too.
at in any part of the earth, like you put that music somewhere and people just like it's in the DNA somewhere, even though they're
Mm.
not attached to the land in that way. So
Yeah.
that's one thing I feel like you know, when I hear your music, I I feel
Mm.
that directly,
Amazing.
and
That's beautiful.
a big part of like kind of why I wanted to talk with you was because there's a few things, and we've had past conversations before, and
Yeah.
we've collaborated before. Uh,
Yeah.
Shout out
Still
to
collaborating.
yeah, we collaborate. We made some stuff, and there's some stuff you know in the hopper. But
Mm-hmm.
you mentioned something that was like really interesting to me, which was like you were working on like a all female writing group because
Yeah.
Nigerian scene. I don't know if it's different in Lagos and in Abuja, but like
Mm-hmm.
but from where you were, I thought it was really cool that you were kind of like leading a charge and like kind of like
Mm.
forming like a all female kind
Yeah.
of writing group. Like
Yeah.
talk about that. What's
Yeah.
that like as a woman out
You
there?
know, yeah, it's really because music, the industry is so crazy and it's so male dominated. And I was having a conversation with my friend this afternoon about because he was asking me why I think that a lot of guys do well and for the female arts it's harder. And I asked him, I told him, okay, so for the guys, for instance, you have like 10 guys. those guys, they would give them funding, they would push all of them, they would like they would there's no competition per se. Everybody in for their case is like the sky is big enough for them to fly. But I'm like, I noticed that with women it's one at a time. Why? And then when it's like two, it's like they are pitting this person against this person. And I'm like, are you guys not seeing the disparity in here? It's just me. Like I'm just like, and I realized that so last November I did this all female headline show called Soul Butter Experience, which happened in Lagos. And I just want to create a safe place where girls feel comfortable enough to just create. Like, because the first thing on a lot of females' minds, I feel, when they're in like a studio or they're going to a place where they have to like create, the first thing on their mind is safety. Because they're not comfortable enough yet. It's like, I don't want, then you have all this, okay, I don't want anybody to like hit on me, or I don't want to come off as the, like, I don't want anybody to misunderstand me. And a lot of times you get hit on, and it's like the first thing in your mind is not to create. The first thing in your mind is, I'm looking over my shoulder, make sure I'm good first. And it's like, how can you actually create beautiful art that you actually want to create if you don't even feel safe in the space you're creating in? And then like that's where you see so many guys packed in the studio and it's all good. Everybody's making music. Fine, it's beautiful. But once there's one or two girls there, energy is like sometimes weird. It's like, it's like, yeah, it's just or yeah, it's just I just we need to create spaces where babes can just chill. Let's just chill. Like if you don't wanna, freaking wear like just be comfortable. Just know that okay, I am here to make music and that is what I'm doing. And at least we're being productive. That's just what I want. It's like how can we expand this thing? How can we make more ladies feel safe to create? A lot of ladies, because they don't feel safe, they stop making music. It's like, do you know how much good music we're being starved of because we're just not paying attention to the needs of a lot of these women? Like, it's not. It's one. If one person says it's okay, but if almost everybody is saying it, maybe we should look into it. So yeah, I just yeah, and I've worked with like so many amazing female singers, songwriters, mix engineer. My mix engineer is female. Like she's the one that mixes all my stuff. Like, and she pays attention to my vocals because I do a lot of vocal stacking. I could be all over the place, but I'm still learning to perfect like the art of recording myself and vocal production and all that. And like I just love how she pays attention. She listens. I don't need to tell her too much.
Mm.
She just knows. She hears it. Like we connect on that level, and like it's so amazing the things that women create when they actually connect on such a deep. Because we connect on, we know how. I don't know how, but we just connect on a very deep level, and it's like the music that comes out is mind blowing. It's literally mind blowing. And I'm like, we'll make so much more amazing stuff if more babes are just given a chance.
Mm.
Like, we give guys chances all the time. The bar is literally underneath the ground. But for the lady, the bar is like in the sky. Oh, you gotta do this. You gotta, yeah, you gotta, dude.
Yeah,
you know?
it's quite interesting too. Like back to kind of like creating in a place where you don't feel safe. Like I've seen so many times in situations. Glad not so many times, but I've seen the instances where it is like uh there is a woman in the room and things are different, and like there are certain types of men
Yes.
that kind of interact differently and like make it
Yes.
about a certain thing that it shouldn't be, and like
Yes.
that's frustrating. It's hard to, you know, hear, and it sounds like it's a very common theme
Oh,
in
it's
in
so
all.
normal.
Yeah, yeah.
It's so normal.
I think
And I'm
about my
like, the
daughter.
problem is that we've made it. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yes.
think about my daughter and it's
You know.
like okay, if she wanted to go do this thing and then there's kind of this, you know, this
Weird dudes.
yeah.
Literally just weird dudes lurking. They like it's like their mission is just to make you uncomfortable. And like so there was this I had like two instances. So the first one was I went to the studio. I booked a studio session. I went to the studio. This producer has never seen me before. The first thing he says, "Hey, Priya Bom Bom."
And okay, explain that though for those that yeah.
So like I literally like so Priye Bom Bom, he literally it's just like saying Priye big ass.
Wow.
Or Priye ass. Or like it's like okay, that morning he checked my Instagram and he's like, oh, checking me out, trying to see this person, this girl who this artist who came to the studio to make music. And the first thing he says is Priye Bom Bom, Priye Butts, Priye ass.
Off the
And
top, first thing. Oh
first
hell.
thing, walk
Oh.
into the room, that's it. And I'm just like standing, everything is already awkward. I don't know what to say. I don't
Mm.
know how to reply this guy. I just spent so much money on this shit. What's going on? This is awkward.
What do
And
you
then he's
do?
just
What do you
looking
do
at
in
me.
that situation? Like
It's hard to walk away
mhm.
sometimes when you
Yeah.
think about the resources that you've wasted. But most times I just because most times it's like I'm too stunned to say anything because I can't believe that this person actually just did this. I just walk away.
Mm.
I rather walk away than be disrespected.
Mhm. Mhm.
It's like I'm not going to be schooling you. I'm not going to be schooling you on how to act like a normal freaking human being. It's not even about you being a guy and me being a girl. It's about you being a decent fucking human being
Mhm.
first.
Mhm.
Like if you can't even do that, then we should just not work.
Mhm.
It's no point.
So you
It's
said
no point.
yeah, no, literally, and that's like I don't know how that person can expect there to be any type of normalcy after
You know,
that type of
how
disrespect.
can I create beautiful music in that space?
Mm.
That is that in with that kind of energy. It's
Mhm.
like I wouldn't even want to create. It's like the spirit mm, it's no thing.
God left the room.
God just left the room, so I
God.
gotta leave too. We
Yeah.
can't.
Exactly. And what happened? What happened the second time? What was that experience like?
uh, oh shit! I just forgot.
I think it's like important for people to hear this because it is like it's a very common thing that happens. Like I've heard stories
mm,
in LA all the time. Obviously, that's like a very like that's like the heartbeat of the music industry in the States, and like
mm.
it's sad. It's so sad to hear these things and like
Oh,
yeah,
I remember.
what happened?
So I went to so this guy had worked with him before and we made like a sick record. This was like 2017. I don't know if he felt threatened, but he never like wanted to release the stems for
Mm,
some reason.
mm,
And then the second time I came, there were a bunch of guys there and they were just like looking at me walking in and I was just wondering like, okay, what's going on? And then I go into the studio and he's not there. There's somebody else there. And the guy goes, like, who are you looking for? And I tell him, oh, this producer, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, oh, like, you're his chick, right? And I'm like, no, no. So apparently, all the time I've been coming to the studio, they thought I was coming to sleep with this guy. They didn't
wow.
think that this girl, or because I'm pretty, or because I carry myself well, or yeah, she's not coming here to make music. She's definitely coming here just to sleep with someone. She's definitely coming here to fuck someone. So they didn't even see me as worthy of being an artist, of actually coming to work. They didn't even see it that way. So it's like ah,
Mm, that's
and I'm
frustrating.
like, no, I'm not dating him. And it's like, once again, I'm not going to be educating anybody.
Mm-hmm.
You are a grown ass man. Period. There is no excuse for you to be a dickhead.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There's literally no excuses. Same thing. It just be a decent human being.
Mm.
Like, just be a decent human being. And it's like the audacity to just like say anything, like, you know, just, oh yeah, she's, yeah, what's she gonna do? Like, you just say anything.
Yeah. It's like the fundamental, the root of it is comes from a place of disrespect, and
Yes.
like the core of it. And I feel like for any decent human being, that is a line that and a boundary that I feel like once it's crossed is a little bit, if you have any respect for yourself, it's like something
Yeah.
that cannot be taken back, sadly.
Yeah.
Um
Yeah.
well, I hope those ones, um I hope their grandmother loses at bingo, for all of them, for the rest of their life, the rest of
Amen.
her life. I hope that happens. Um, I've always wanted to use that
I
one.
love
I didn't
it.
know where. um,
It works.
yeah, it works. um,
Ah,
I
in
I did I
tears.
did I did want to say, like seeing that event that you threw was cool to see, um because this happened after we talked about, you were like, oh, I'm putting together this writing group where, you're
Yeah.
telling me the situation. So you're really like, you know putting your money where your mouth is.
Yeah.
And
Gotta.
I feel like that's like a, you know something that I'm seeing from even the producer side of things. Like there's not a lot of women producers, or
Yeah.
producers of, you know a variety of sexual orientations, but like
Mm.
it is like a very man dominated world. And I can
Very.
totally understand and see like the frustration that it would kind of be within to like enter this space. And I just want to
Yeah.
know, like, personally too, like, where are you coming from the music background? Like, when did this stuff for you become, because I'm
Mm.
assuming it was like pre Canada, but like where did
Mm.
that originate for you? um
So like initially, right, my growing up, my dad and my mom, they have great taste in music. I just thank them so much for always, because my dad was the kind of person that he couldn't get work done if he wasn't playing music in the background. So there was always music, some sort of music playing. Name the genre: jazz, Louis Armstrong, Ella Fitzgerald, name it, soul, Marvin Gaye, Enya, Yanni,
Enya.
like,
Who
yo,
could say if
she
it, na, na. Yeah. Oh,
she was my inspiration for backing vocals. I just, she is,
yeah, right.
uh,
That was
she,
literally my childhood too. That's insane. I had no idea
I-
she spanned that far globally, to be honest. Like,
yo,
yeah.
she's huge. And she's like the real life princess. You know, she's like living in a castle. She doesn't like anybody around her. She's just living her best life. I'm like, good for you, girl.
Hmm.
Cause she is,
I could
she's so
absolutely see
good.
that influence in your vocals too. Like how you carry certain melodies, like the sustain.
Mm,
Yeah, there
mm.
is like an airiness, like a ethereal vibe to some of like how you
Yes.
approach music too. That's cool.
Yeah, I really like was influenced by her. And like so many other people I can't even like, because there's so many. Sometimes he would just play sounds like just the saxophone, or just someone like, I don't know, like Coltrane or something. He just plays whatever, man. And like, nobody is crazy because nobody in my family sings. I'm the only one who sings. And my mom keeps on telling me that I don't know where this came from, but you are a gift to this world. Priye means gift, and she's like, I I I I don't know. I don't know. Like, because I sing like I have been classically trained or something. I have no training. This is just okay, I'll hear a song and I'll try and score it. I try and interpret it my way. And like that, I just kept on listening to more songs and try to like emulate what I was hearing. I didn't even realize that I had a voice until my friends in school, high school, were singing something. We're all singing something, and I was singing, and they all stopped. Like, what is wrong with you? You don't sound like us.
It was happy
You
birthday.
actually
You're
can
killing it.
sing. Like you can sing,
Uh-huh.
and that was when I started noticing that, oh, I don't sound bad. And I started realizing what I was doing. Before, I didn't realize what I was doing. So I would hear a run and I would try and do that run. When I would do the run, I would hear it before, but after then I would like, I actually sound really good. That sounds really good. So I just wanted to learn everything. I just wanted to like try and like write whatever I could write down, or like just sing, or just, I don't know. I just wanted to like express. It was
Mhm.
like a fire that just wanted to come out of me, like something that I was like, damn, wow, this is amazing, and I was doing it because it felt good,
How
not
old were
even
you at
for
the
any
time?
other thing. I was like 13, 14 when I realized that I can actually sing. So prior to that, I was just like going with the wind, just saying, But like after then, it was like a realization, like aha moment, you know. And then like I started doing some like talent shows, small talent shows, and I wouldn't like do bad at all, and I would always get like good reviews, and yeah, and since then, like I was just like anything I hear, I would literally eat it up, sing it out, try and like do something on it, like remix or something like. So that was like the beginning, and all round I'm just like a creative person, always trying to like I draw and I paint as well. So always trying to just like just do something weird, but
Did
like I
you
was also like
know
the black sheep of the family.
did you know at the time that the singing is and like music was gonna be the thing that you wanted to head into, and like were your okay,
No,
okay. Like were your
no.
parents
I
expecting
always,
something else? Like were they like my parents? Were they
yeah.
like
So
yeah.
initially, like when I was younger, like I always wanted to be a doctor,
Mm.
but I outgrew that. I didn't really like the sight of blood. I was like, I don't think I want to do this 24/7. Um, and then I changed to architecture because I loved drawing so much, and I just wanted to do something that I could draw and create. And I'm like, buildings? And then eventually, I don't know, I just did engineering. I was like, but like, I came from a household where like my dad is like very like strict. So saying I wanted to study something that was music related or something in the creative sphere, it wasn't really going to fly. So I had to, because of the whole, I don't know, like, you know how the baby boomers think,
Mhm.
you have to, it's either you're doing like, something, something that sounds serious.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's a doctor. She's an engineer.
Mhm.
She's a pilot.
Mhm. Mhm.
She's an astronaut. And I'm like, I just want to draw. I just want to draw and sing. I don't care about any of
Yeah.
this, And so I that's part of the reasons why I did engineering, and it actually had an effect on me because I had to completely, at a point, suppress the creative side in order to enhance the analytical and the logical side so that I could, graduate well, just do it. So at a point, I was more like a zombie because I didn't like going to classes. I didn't like my lecturers. They weren't nice guys, and they were old, frustrated men. Like in my department, we had just like one female, and she was a bitch too. And I could understand that because it's not easy working with those guys. They were grumpy all the time. They were always angry all the time, and like they had like anger issues. So they could tell you to just like I know somebody that they crossed his name out of the attendance sheet on the last day of class. This guy didn't write examinations. He had to repeat the semester because of somebody's ego. So I had to deal with those kind of men, and I'm like, I'm dealing with you guys in school. When I come out in the world, I'm dealing with more of you guys. I'm doing music. I'm dealing with you too. Can I have a break? Can I have a freaking break? So yeah, like I didn't really. I was just like, I'm just going to graduate and give this certificate to my parents and tell them thank you and goodbye. I am doing music. Thumbs up. I've given you your degree. It was a good ass degree. I tried my best, but I'm done. And from then I started trying to reach back to like spark that fire again in me, to get back the passion for creating again, not just seeing the world in straight lines and angles and round and circles, but like more like squiggly lines and just like, colors and splashes and seeing the wonder in things. I lost the wonder. I'm like, what a way to live. That cannot be me. I was like, nah, I have to reach back to my inner child. It was tough. It took a lot of
What was
like,
that like? Yeah, explain that, like going from kind of the zombie back to like a colorful world. Like what was that like?
I had to accept myself again.
Mm. In what way?
I had to, because at a point, because I was such a zombie, I stopped seeing myself.
Mm.
There was like a veil that covered my eyes because I stopped seeing the wonder in things. And then it got to a point where I was working out and I was going too hard in the gym because I was so frustrated and didn't know how to let the frustration out. It's like I had so much energy in me and I didn't know how to let it out. So it felt like I was getting overwhelmed by the energy and I didn't like the feeling because I'm like, this is good energy. It needs to be expressed, but it wasn't getting expressed. So I felt like I was dying and I started hating myself because I'm like, there's a regret came in because I'm like, okay, I shouldn't have made my parents happy. I should have made myself happy.
Mm.
Maybe if I should have done something more artistic or more creative, like, what if I didn't take the econs class? What if I took the music class instead? Like, so I had to forgive myself. It was like a falling in love with myself again. Like I am creative. I have I'm not limited by anything. I see the world in color. I see the wonder in things. I love nature. I want to feel the sand beneath my feet. I want to enjoy the little things. I will make myself a joy list and a playlist. If it's that I want to take myself out for dinner, I will do it if it makes me happy and makes my inner child excited again. Because once you can spark that fire again, it's the best feeling. It's like having a writer's block for 2 years and having a breakthrough in 1 month and recording 70 songs in a month. It feels like I had to go through that and okay, I don't hate myself much. I am creative. I am worthy of love. I'm worthy of everything good. I am not limited by anything. I can do this. I can draw. I can make music. I will make music. The words will come. The melody will come. The lyrics will come. The people will come. I let go of past trauma. I forgive myself. So it was more of like
Making me
fun,
tear up over here. Like that's beautiful. That's beautiful. And that's
like
like such a
yeah.
transformation too. Like that to go
Yes, you
to
have to
go from
shed
that.
that
Oof.
skin. It was too heavy. I
Mhm.
couldn't do it because I was like, I will die. If I'm not creating, I will die. Literally. I will become a zombie. I will just be moving. I don't want to be that person going to work. Okay, I have a secure job. Okay, but I'm miserable. Okay, yeah, I'm waking up and okay, I have a job and I have to do this thing, but I hate. Well, I don't want to be that guy, man. Like, never ever want to be that person. Like, never. So like, it took a long time. It wasn't a one day thing. um I had to be patient with myself. I had to be very patient with myself. Like, okay, you can pray, you can record the song, you can write a good song. How do you start? Like, just start. Just start. Ah, love fumes. Love fumes. That was like, that was the beginning of it. That was like the path to self healing. Like, I left Canada for like, cause I couldn't do it. I was like, if I stay here one more month, I can't. So I took my rent money and I bought a ticket to the US and I went to chill. I went to chill. I did everything that made me happy. I went for concerts. I ate good food. I met old friends. I started feeling like myself again. Slowly. It's like we were, these movies, these black and white movies. It's like I was in a black and white movie in my own head. And then when I started doing that, I started seeing little color come popping out just a little bit. And it's cause it's like, okay, it's coming. And I knew it was here. So I'm like, I know that even to sustain this, it takes work. It takes work to continue. So and that also ties in with the patience with myself. I really had to be patient with myself because I beat up myself a lot. Like I used to do that a lot. Like it was bad. Like, and there was a time that it was so bad because I was recording a song and I recorded myself recording the song. I went back to the recording and I was wondering why I was speaking to myself that way. Like, oh, like if I don't take a good take, oh, I'll just get so angry, stupid bitch. Oh, like I slapped my head, like, oh, get this. Like I'm like, why are you so hard on yourself, girl? Damn. I was like, I was just squeezing my face. I'm like, how can I be recording a song that I want people to feel good emotions and I'm just like doing this, slapping my head, not being kind to myself. Like you can't be kind to yourself, but you want somebody else to be kind to you. Girl, that's saying that's it's not gonna work like that. Like like this ain't a movie. Like because people read energies. Whether it is this small or this big, if you don't like yourself, someone else will know.
Mm-hmm.
This girl don't fuck with herself.
Mm-hmm.
It
There,
will slip out somehow. You can't hide it.
yeah, that's so true, and especially like I feel like especially in the music that you are making, like this, the sensual, the love. There's like an element of
Yeah.
love to it, like romance. You can't
Mm.
be angry when you
You
record
can't
that
be
music. Yeah,
angry
like you have to come
because
from a
people
tender
will
place.
feel that energy.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. You have to be, you have to allow yourself be a channel. You can't hint, you can't hint. That's the how this
Mhm. Mhm.
works. That's the how this works. You
Mhm.
gotta let it go
Mhm.
because it's meant to be out there, man.
Mhm.
Because if you don't let it out, you will probably start dying because it's supposed to be out. You're supposed to keep it in.
Mhm. I want
You're
to.
supposed to keep it in.
Yeah, exactly. No, it is. It does feel like you kind of are dying a little bit. Like it, and especially like if you. I don't know about you. I'm starting to learn like okay, I don't need to be productive every single day. You know, like I need to
Mm.
give my soul some space and understand
Who
it's.
told us that hyper productivity is productivity?
Mhm. It's the
Oh, I
age we're
must do
in.
something every day.
It's like the yeah.
Yes.
It's like how we're programmed. It's like we're forced. It's like slammed down. It's slammed in our brains that like if
Yes.
you're not loving your job, if you're not like doing this, you know
Then you're not doing it.
you're not doing it. Yeah, exactly, exactly. It's so strange, and it's such a toxic mentality, and it's
It's
nothing.
such
I
a
think
toxic
people kind of
mentality.
I, I don't know. I'm kind of generalizing, but I find myself kind of like going into modes of like hyper. productivity, and then catching myself,
Mm.
and then I slip into that all the time. Like where if I don't feel good with something that I made that day, then it's gonna affect me the next day, and yeah,
Oh,
it's crazy. If I make something that I love, I feel like I just took drugs and I'm like high. You know, it's crazy.
yes. That is shout out to all the creatives. It's not easy being a creative. Like
Mm-mm.
people just say, "Oh, you're just making content. You just nah, honey." It's not easy being a creative. Create. I have so much respect for creatives because it's so emotionally draining sometimes, financially draining sometimes, mentally draining, physically draining.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Yeah.
Creating something and just putting it out there to be criticized.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's so it's like it's as um like you're putting your soul into the public's eye, and there's like that's why like early on with me I loved producing because I didn't have to say anything. Like I could just make stuff and
Mm.
speak through the beats. But then
Mm-hmm.
I started writing, I started singing, and I started kind of putting that stuff out. It's very very vulnerable shit, and like
Mm.
um uh I really admire how people can like say a message through music,
Yeah.
and like
Yeah.
you know that they're like in the back, like if we're familiar with the process of making it, know you know what
Mm.
goes into it when you come at it from a place of love, but like
Yeah.
a lot it's it's easy to kind of like overlook those things and like criticize
Yes.
something for, you know, if you don't like the sound of it. But it, yeah, I think it's like all this music, like I'm listening to a lot of country music lately, which I never. And
Amazing.
shout out to Gabby ZK. She's a amazing artist that I had here, but she said something where it was like, dang, oh, I'm gonna screw this up. But she said country music. She's hold on, I gotta look this up because she had this great oh, it's not gonna show up. Country music is
It's a lot
like
of great
uh
storytelling with country music, man.
yeah, yeah. It country music is basically like is like cowboy soul music or something like that. I butchered everything,
Mm-hmm.
but it's like you can kind of look you can look at these like genres as like in a variety of different ways, and like they're coming from
Mm-hmm.
different walks of life. Like I'm curious too, like
Yeah.
from your end, like traditional Nigerian music, like
Mm-hmm.
what does that sound to you? Like how does that affect
Hmm.
kind of your musical upbringing, or has it?
My musical upbringing. Yes. So like because my dad played so much, he
Mm-hmm.
would play even like old school like Nigerian music, and like back pre Civil War, before like everything went south, Nigerians were making psychedelic songs, Afro funk. Like, if you have those like old vinyls that they were like a limited edition, and it's actually crazy the kind of sound that that comes out from this place, no matter the era. And it's like I went back and I listened to like a lot of like, 1960s, 1970s, 1980s Nigerian songs, and I'm like, damn, we got sauce, sauce. The guitars, the instrumentation, the energy, the lyrics, the arts for the cover of this songs, like they always painted it, so it was just so crazy. Listening to King Sonny Ade, Fela,
Mm-hmm.
the Funkies, the Hikers, the Jadu Sisters.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, the list goes on and on. These people like were just creating, like
Mm-hmm.
they were just on, like there was no, ugh,
That's what
and it
it
was
feels
mostly
like, right?
one takes.
Like I look back at
Yes,
those times, that psychedelic era, that era in particular globally was a real period of
yes.
time. Like I feel
Whoa,
like the channel for Earth was just open on
there
every.
was something in the
Yeah,
air.
yeah,
There was something in the air,
yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
even like the 80s, listen to like boogie songs. Like, I'm like, wow. And like the way they infuse the languages and the tribes,
Mm-hmm.
they weave it into the melodies and the hooks, and it's just like,
Mm-hmm.
oh,
Mm-hmm.
it's
That's
just
that's something too. Like
so
on
good.
the art, like on the cover art, that they had. Like I feel like people were a lot more fearless when it came to
And expressive.
visual representation. Like they did some awkwardly
Yes.
ugly. I don't know if they're intentionally doing it to be ugly, but like you look at it now, it's like holy shit, what were you thinking? But it's
Hmm.
bold. Like they just did it.
It's
You know?
very bold.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
They were unapologetic with that. They were
Mhm.
free.
Mhm.
They were free, and they just like expressed and created what they loved. They wanted to just create something beautiful.
Mm.
So there was no like, looking out to see, or comparing. Like everything was just raw the
Yeah.
way it was.
That's true. That's a good point because I I think there was like this fearless oh man, that's a good point. Because during that time there was no social media. Like you couldn't post an album cover and then get
Yes.
roasted for your cover. Like
People were being
yeah,
themselves.
yeah. Yep.
There was no internet to see. There was no likes and nah. It's you have my record or you don't. You come for my shows or you don't. You see me perform or you don't. It's like a real time. You experience it. It was treasured. It was there was value there because it wasn't something you could just see anywhere. It's like people would pay to experience as it should be. They paid to experience these things. They paid to just be there with the energy to see their favorite artists perform. Like, this is good. They will sit down and eat their pepper soup and their cola nuts and their sodas, and they'll just palm
Oh my
wine.
bad.
Amazing.
Sorry, I got my the conversation's getting too hot. The fire alarm went off. One second.
Sorry.
Wow. Yeah. Wow.
It's getting hot in here.
Yeah, right. Wow, that's really cool because I've thought of I've always admired like these old like that era's cover art and like the design stuff that they did,
Mm-hmm.
but you just really kind of nailed like you helped me nail the reasoning of like
Yeah.
yeah, because
Yeah.
it was pure freedom. It was like creative freedom, and
It
then
was pure
as
freedom.
soon as there was an introduction of sorry
Aww.
baby girl.
That's our
Yeah,
queen.
there she
You know.
future queen, future astronaut, musician. um yeah, there was no fear of like kind of
There was nothing
what other people would like
of being
think. And
exactly.
yeah, and that's that like you
That's
kept
it.
saying child, the inner child, like that is such a
Yes.
crucial piece of all of this, like for
Of
longevity.
creating.
It's like a
You can't lose it.
yeah, it's a balance though, right? Of like, cause
Yeah.
there is like a piece of you that needs to maintain this curiosity and
Yes.
sensitivity and
Yes.
fearlessness, but also there's like the reality that we're in is like this microphone costs a lot of fucking money. I mean not a
Yeah.
lot, but the reality is like the internet for us to be a part of and be sustain a career also involves like the
Mhm.
adult side. So it's like how do you
Yeah.
yeah balance that
Yeah.
in a way that's healthy.
Because life is not stopping and the experiences are not stopping and the emotions are not stopping. The complexity of life is not stopping. So it's like, are you gonna really like it's a big fight. Shout out to everybody who's like trying to keep like, yo, it's not easy. It's not easy. We need to pat ourselves in the back way more. Like we need to love ourselves more because this life thing, it's not easy.
Mm, mm, mm.
Damn.
Who you I wanted to just also tell the people like how we met too, because maybe that might have been good to put in the beginning. But uh, I met I got introduced to you through Tay Iwar, who we've been
Mm,
collaborating dang for a minute. Um,
mm.
but I sent a batch of records to him, and he was like, "Oh, PREYÉ sound good on these." And then I think that's when the ball started rolling.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
Shout out to Tay, man. Man,
Shout out to Teiwa.
yeah.
He's a
Oh,
great, great, great guy. I recorded my first official song with him. I stalked him down. I was like, "You're not gonna release that dope ass project and think we're not gonna work."
yeah.
Sorry, son.
Yeah, how'd you guys
I'm
meet?
relentless that way. That was literally how we met. Like, he released his first project, Passport, and I heard this and I'm like, "Don't play with me. I'm working with this dude. I don't care. I don't care if he forms for me. I don't care if he's doing celeb for me. I'm going to work with this dude." And then I followed him on Twitter at the time. I messaged him. I'm like, "Hi, I'm a singer. I'm a songwriter. I really want to work with you." Like, I marketed myself. I was like, "Yo, you will not regret making records with me." And then, like, he invited me to his studio space, and I'm like, yes. So I go there, and like we just talk, and we just like energy is just like amazing, kindred spirits. Like we just like start talking like we've been talking for like years, and then that's how everything started. Like just chilling, talking about music, talking about like records and how he started and inspiration, and like we bonded on so many things, life, nature, God. Like I was just like, damn, I made a great decision to slide into your
Yeah.
DMs and bully you to give me a session.
Yeah.
And like we've made like amazing art. Like we're still making amazing art, and like through him I'm meeting like awesome people like you, and it's just amazing. Yeah.
Man, yeah, I'm thankful. I'm very thankful. Very, very thankful.
It's
Yeah,
amazing.
and Twitter has been a bridge to a many of connections. It's
It
yeah.
has.
Love
It
love.
has actually. It's like the backbone of so many startups.
Mhm. Mhm.
That's crazy, man.
Are
Twitter
you
should start paying us for using Twitter.
right? Right, exactly. Revolution. Um
Yo,
I wanted to ask too, like on like from for your music, you're not signed, right? Are you completely
no,
indie?
yeah,
How's that how's that been?
indie. It's tough. It's meant to be hard. There's nothing that's supposed to be easy about it. But when the rewards start coming in, it's amazing. I've been independent since I started, learning so much about myself, my aesthetics, my sound. And I'm actually so happy because I've learned so much about myself, as not just as an artist, as a woman making music, as a being. Like music has helped me realize so many other things about myself. And yeah, doing it myself as well, I've learned so much. Like information is power, and I just love like learning new things because the industry just evolves every day. Something new is up. You gotta like keep on like keeping yourself aware, of what's new. It's just, but yeah. It's not been easy. I try and do other things as well to like get money and try to like sustain this, but I know like very soon something big is gonna happen.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's
I'm very grateful for the process, man.
yeah, seriously. I feel like I can't imagine going any other way. Like I do I do think you know, at a certain level there is a lot of value with kind of getting some bags up front and having
Mhm.
that kind of support or security
Mhm.
in that way
Yeah.
from like whether it's like a pub deal or like yeah, a
Mm.
labeled situation, but
Yeah.
there's not going to be anything sweeter than this journey of owning your own music. and
Of
and
owning
like
your own
yeah,
shit.
down the line how much more valuable that's going to be than taking a little off the off the top for a little bit of
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes. Yes. And like the rewards, like I said, when they start rolling in, you're just gonna just smile like everything was worth it. And you know what? I would do it all over again.
Mm, mm, same, same. I'm right there with
I
you.
don't think I want to have it any other way, man. Like
Yeah.
it's been a journey. Like I've just learned so much about myself in ways that I didn't think I could learn about myself because I was doing music and like just the experiences, the wins, the losses, everything. Like it just and it always comes back full circle, which is just I'm just like yeah,
Yeah.
this is worth it.
It also like kind of prepares you to like know what you need to when certain things come across your path. Like
Oh no! Oh
we
no!
have a outage. Yo yo yo. You
Oh,
good?
so
It's okay. It's
sorry.
okay.
Yeah, it just went off.
It's okay. Are you still recording on your
Yeah.
end too? Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I
Cool.
didn't stop.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
I'm gonna mark that. Um, no, I was gonna say, it being independent like helps you also prepare for like, um, getting to know your business. So like when someone does come across your path, you're able to know if it's the right fit and if it makes sense.
Exactly.
And yeah.
Exactly. You know it for yourself.
Mhm.
Nobody can tell you shit.
Mhm. Mhm.
Nobody can tell you
Yeah,
shit.
and like you.
And they know you are powered with information.
Mhm.
So they are also being careful.
Mm-hmm. Totally. Yeah, like I often think of like my first my first manager, shout out to him, great dude, but there's like there's certain times in my like I was in my early 20s at the time and I was like just getting into
Mm.
it, so I didn't really fully even know what I needed, but I knew that I
Uh,
wanted someone to help, but I didn't know how
yeah.
to communicate that help. So like over time
Yeah.
it helped in the long run, but I do think that it say you have like a TikTok video that pops
Mm.
off and you're in your early 20s,
Mm.
maybe late teens, and
Damn.
you don't really have the um
Know how.
know how anything is kind of uh yeah, it could be a bad thing to have people involved. But
Because they will sway you.
yeah, yeah, right, right. No,
They will
that's
sway you.
That's just you do an amazing job. I really admire the social presence you have. Like
Thank
I,
you.
that's something I feel like um is is tough to maintain, you know?
It is.
Yeah.
Putting yourself out there is also not easy.
Mhm.
Man, creative's been going through the most. Like,
Mhm.
it took me a while. There was a time I wasn't posting anything. And I just wasn't confident. I'm like, people don't these I just felt like people didn't deserve to see some sides of me. I felt like I was being exposed, you know? I felt why do I have to show my value and and the only way is by recording a freaking story and putting a reel up or putting a TikTok up. Like it was just a lot. But like we're in the digital age. We're in the digital age
Mhm.
and part of putting our music out there and pushing it, social media does help.
Mhm.
So
Mhm. Yeah, it's
yeah.
like
But I'm
you
like,
have to
yeah,
almost that to a
you
certain
have
level. Yeah.
to. You have to. But yeah, I'm trying to make sure like I'm trying to learn more like new stuff and see how I can like, be better at social media cuz sometimes I'm just like sometimes I feel like deleting it. But I'm just like, okay, you need this girl.
That's real. No, that's real. That's real. It is like a resume, and not all of us are Frank Ocean, or
Not
um,
all of
no,
us.
no. There's a reality. Um, yeah, no, that's. I love hearing about like what's cool about this podcast thing is I get to like dive a
Mhm.
little deeper than I would in a normal
Yeah.
interaction. So it's so
Yeah.
amazing to hear your background and like to hear
Yeah.
who you
For
are
sure.
and
Like
Yeah.
I'm sure like there are a lot of things I didn't like can't remember to like point out, but yeah, I've had a pretty crazy child.
Yeah. I bet. I bet.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like I feel like so many things have been trying to take me out. That's why I'm very certain that there's a crown on my head,
Mm.
because right from when I was like a kid, like everything that could go wrong all the time. I was always in some sort of accident. I was always kind of sick all the time, or got to do surgery, or it just no like it was. There was a time I had chicken pox, and it was so bad. And chicken pox is like contagious. It was crazy because nobody in my family got chicken pox. It was just me, and I actually almost died because of it. It was that bad. So there's this crazy story. Like I haven't told it a lot of people, but I feel like yeah, this is a time where I should say it. So like when my mom conceived me, they first told her that it was a stillbirth, like it's just blood. They're like, oh, it's just blood, so you have to flush it out. And she's like, no, it's not. It's a baby, and her name is PREYÉ, and it means gifts. And they were like, you're crazy, you need to flush this out, you're putting your life in danger. And she's like, I'm a woman of faith, I'm not flushing this baby out. She kept on saying baby, they kept on saying blood. She's like, no, baby. And then she goes home, she comes back in like 2 months, and they see a baby there, but they see a fibroid there as well. So they're like, shit, you gotta cut this fibroid off, and we have to remove this baby with it as well because it's dangerous. It's gonna kill you, and it's gonna kill the baby. And she's like, nope, I'm not taking it off. Nothing's gonna happen to my baby. Everything's gonna be fine. And they're like, you're crazy. And she's like, yeah, it's called faith. And then she goes home. She comes back, and then they realize that the fibroid is not growing. It's there. It's not growing. You know why? Because my head is right on top of it, and I'm like, you're not growing. That's why I have this birthmark here. It comes out from my eye, and then it goes out like that. So like the ninth month, they did like the CS, and then they find out that normally babies will move, and I didn't necessarily like. She didn't really move a lot. It was quite a concern because you're meant to move in the womb, but like I didn't move, and when they did the CS, I was fine, and they found out that my head was resting on the spot where the fibroid was growing, and I literally saved my life and my mom's life. I've been fighting from the womb, so I'm like, I'm not going to let you know little fear or doubt to disturb what I feel like I am here to do, because I know whatever it is big, is huge. So I'm gonna keep on pushing because yeah, there's a lot to be done, and I feel like I've already started in a way my way. The Soul Butter experience was self-funded. I really wanted to do like one the next month, but I'm like, let me just chill till when I'm like financially stable for this. Hopefully, I get funding for it, and I just want to bring more females to perform and just feel safe and just be comfortable, man. We shouldn't be uncomfortable when we want to perform. We should be happy and free, and just create and just damn.
Hmm.
So
I
it's a
love
lot
that.
to be done.
There's a lot to be done. PREYÉ
There's a lot to be done.
is good. I'm glad you're fighting this war
Gotta fight.
that we're in.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
it's a war.
Mm-hmm.
It's a war.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta fight. Hmm.
Is
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
that's a beautiful place to end this. I really enjoyed. Thank you for telling that story first of all,
Thank
and
you.
thank you for joining and having the conversation.
I had so much fun, of course, insightful anytime. I would, even if I am all over the place, which I will get it done, and I will be with you. I can't wait for us to like meet officially. I can't wait for you to come to Nigeria or Ghana. You know, just chill, drink some pina
There we
coladas,
go.
eat some suya. Suya is like roasted beef, but like thinly sliced,
Ooh, yeah.
and it's
Like,
sometimes it has some like nicely fatty thing. Like it's so
I'm hungry. I'm very hungry right now. Oh my gosh.
So yeah, I can't wait. Like yeah, this was amazing. Thank you so much for having me on your podcast.
Thank you,
Shout
Preye.
big love to your beautiful family and our queens,
Yes.
especially
Yes.
you know
Oh
what I'm
yeah.
talking
Oh
about.
yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I can't wait to meet her as well. Yeah.
I can't
So
wait. I can't wait. You're amazing. You're amazing
thank
and a
you,
blessing. So thank you. Thank you for
thank
being
you,
here.
thank you so much. Thank you so much.